Russian Council faces dissolution after call for Putin's removal.
Here's a summary of the article.
September 13 – A group of St. Petersburg local politicians who called for President Vladimir Putin to be sacked over the war in Ukraine faces the likely dissolution of their district council following a judge's ruling on Tuesday, one of the deputies said. Another council member, Dmitry Palyuga, said the same court then fined him 47,000 rubles for discrediting the authorities by calling for Putin's removal. 4 more members of the Smolnskoye local council are due to appear in court in the next 2 days. Last week, a group of deputies from the council appealed to the State Duma to bring charges of state treason against Putin and strip him of power, citing a series of reasons including Russia's military losses in Ukraine and the damage to its economy from Western sanctions. Another local deputy said 65 municipal representatives from St. Petersburg, Moscow and several other regions had signed a petition she published on Monday calling for Putin's resignation. Palyuga told Reuters before Tuesday's hearing that the group's appeals were aimed not only at liberal Russians but also at people loyal to the authorities who are starting to have doubts when they see the lack of success of the Russian army. Of course, what is happening now has successfully coincided with our agenda. Many people who liked Putin are starting to feel betrayed. I think the more successfully the Ukrainian army operates, the more such people will become, he said.
This post received a score of 69,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than Nikita Euferyov said the judge decided that a series of past council meetings had been invalid, paving the way for it to be broken up by the regional governor. The regional governors now have direct control over their territories. Fear will keep the local systems in line.
Whereas Darth Shoigu, we have to report on the situation immediately.
Count Dope had a previous appointment.
With a window.
Greater than another local deputy said 65 municipal representatives from St. Petersburg, Moscow and several other regions had signed a petition she published on Monday calling for Putin's resignation. Brave people. Hopefully more will stand up to tyranny.
I wish the headline didn't make it seem like some measure of authority over Putin did it.
The past week there have been new stories every day since those municipal members in St. Petersburg last week started with their letter, where they appealed for Putin to resign, and since other municipal members all over Russia have echoed the sentiment. It might not be much or change anything, but in reality it's a pretty big step to even see these acts of defiance.
It's literally their only way out of this besides Putin's death, but I seriously doubt he steps out of the bunker much these days, and I'm also assuming very few people have direct contact. The first wave of people signing this shit are brave as fuck. They know what consequences could occur but did it anyways to try to better the place.
I saw an interview of one of the people who signed this petition. As a Ukrainian myself, I lost faith in Russian people mostly. What he said really moved me. He said that he knows it probably won't do anything for the Putin removal, but he wants other people that are against war to know that they are not alone, that there are much more people on their side, including in government office. Elected officials are representing their anti-war view.
I firmly believe that the Special Action's chief failure was that of having been so sternly resisted by all parties involved. It gave peripheral parties the time to see through the lies and propaganda, pro and con.
This is actually good news. It means the regime of fear that Putin has installed in Russia is slowly being questioned by those who are under it. Sad part is, knowing Putin is a murdering paranoid lunatic, he will scramble all his FSB spies and assassins to take care of the protesters.
There is a number of disappearing opposition that starts getting uncomfortable, even for the Russians.
Well, I've got a list of the high-ranking oligarchs that have died mysteriously from this year so far, along with the official cause of death. Leonid Shulman, Gazprom Invest head of transport, suicide. January 30, Alexander Tyalakov, Gazprom top executive, suicide. February 25, Mikhail Watford, oil, gas oligarch, suicide. February 28, Vasily Melnikov, Medstom, medical supplies, owner, murder-suicide. Wife and 2 children also found dead. March, Vladislav Avayev, former Gazprom Bank VP, Kremlin official, murder-suicide. Wife and daughter also found.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.